main event. The Ring of Honor World title is on the line. There you see an intense handshake between the champion, Samoa Joe, in the brown and black tights, and the challenger, the notorious 187 Homicide, wearing the bandana. And what a match we're going to have here. Julius Smokes in the corner of Homicide. Samoa Joe, a member of the group, and this is the first ROH World title match. Ray, why don't you tell us why it's for the world title as Homicide grabs the arm of Samoa Joe?
Well, 2 weeks ago at the big FWA ROH Super Show in London, England, Samoa Joe had a non-title matchup against the Zebra Kid, but he decided to make it a world title since he was in London, England. And since the title was defended there in England, he thought it was deserving of world title status because it is a worldly belt. And Samoa Joe is definitely a fighting champion. He is definitely a great representative of Ring of Honor as it's going worldwide.
Say what you will about him being a member of the group, but he did not have to defend the title that night, and he demanded it for it to be defended. As you see him connecting with that knee and working on that arm of Homicide. And that's the kind of champion that Samoa Joe is. And Homicide, of course, winning that excellent match against CM Punk at Retribution Round Robin Challenge 2 to get the #1 Contenders trophy. And that's why this match is happening right now. But don't forget, Ray, Homicide holds a non-title win over Samoa Joe. Of course, it's before Joe was champion, all the way back at Scramble Madness, November 16th in Boston.
And you're right, and so much history between these two men here as they're going back and forth here as this match is for all the marbles, Chris.
There is so much history behind this one, as you said. Homicide had a war with the group. Of course, we saw the Bunkhouse Riot, and of course, we saw the past matches with Samoa Joe, All-Star Extravaganza in that 6-man, then the Scramble Madness, one attack after another. Tons of history, tons of hatred, but this match is going to be all about athleticism because the world title's on the line, as there you see Joe peppering the head of Homicide with those slaps. And that's just insulting. And now Joe taking it to him with those knees. And there's a big one right in the jaw, and down goes Homicide, just like Joe did to Dan Moff. And Homicide rolling towards the ropes. And there you see ref Gary Moore with the count. And I think we could easily see this match not only end in pinfall or submission, but I think it's also a possibility for it to end in TKO, in a knockout.
You're absolutely right. These two guys are so hard-hitting. This match could end just like that. And speaking of Dan Moff, what about what we saw earlier with Homicide, Mafia, Low-Key, Julius Smokes? Things are really heating up here. I hope Homicide isn't thinking of those other things because he needs to think about this match right here.
And that's what he's doing right there. A double boot right to the face of Samoa Joe. Homicide coming in, drop kicks Joe into the corner. No, and look at Homicide using his quickness against the big man. And now he's peppering him with those cross faces right there. Joe desperately going for the ropes, and he gets them. And Homicide, that's going to be his strength in this one, is the quickness. And Joe has proved he's susceptible to quick moves because that's how Homicide pinned him, a quick roll-up. That's how Bryan Danielson beat him in that hard-hitting match at the first anniversary show, was a quick roll-up. So Samoa Joe can be pinned by something fast, something quick, something sudden. But Joe going quickness for quickness with Homicide there, baiting Homicide to go to the floor while he rolls back to the inside. But real quick, Ray, I have to mention, for a selection of over 5,000 tapes, all Ring of Honor, you name it, you name a big star, you want a tape of them from any promotion, anywhere, go check out rfvideo.com or call 215-891-9404 as Joe absorbing that forearm by Homicide, only to get knocked, only to get that finger to the eye, and that stopped him right there.
Big boot there by Homicide, and what's he going to follow up with here? A big knee into the corner, and Samoa Joe's in a lot of trouble here, Chris.
And that's what we're talking about. It could end in a knockout with blows like that in this one. Very hard-hitting contest on our hands. Homicide signaling for another one, but Joe catches him, flips him almost through the ring. What impact. The wind has to be knocked out of the body of Homicide.
What a devastating maneuver there by Samoa Joe. My God, Lovey.
And you hear the crowd responding to that one. They love this. Joe ripping the bandana off the head of Homicide. Of course, Homicide, he has his street thug buddy, his running mate, Julius Smokes, in his corner. As there you see, Samoa Joe unleashing the chop, then unleashing the kick. Homicide's body has to be hurting. And a 2 count. It's going to take a lot more than that. Homicide so much on the line. He has to win this match for his son. See, he said that in the promo earlier tonight. His son, he doesn't want him. There you see Julius Smokes. He doesn't want his son to lead the same life as him. Brutal kicks. And in order to give his son a better life, he has to win the ROH World title because then he'll make the most money. And he catches Joe. Right on his head.
Did you see how his head hit the mat there, Chris? And Samoa Joe's out on the floor. What a maneuver there by Homicide.
Samoa Joe had to take a breather after getting dumped on his head like that. He has to take a couple moments to shake it off. Here comes Homicide. Joe catches him, one impact into the guardrails.
What's up, Joe?
Have you ever seen a hard-hitting match like this before?
Absolutely not.
These two going for new levels of brutality in this one.
We've seen this in London as he had the Zebra Kid.
Homicide catches him, hits a forearm. And Homicide caught him to release over that belly-to-belly onto that basketball court floor, and you know how hard those are. And now Joe planting Homicide in the chair. Oh, big chop. Shades of London, England, right there, Frontiers of Honor. That's where Joe picked that up, and I think that's going to catch on.
Well, unfortunately for Homicide, he just got his head leveled into that rail of sheet metal. And I think the fans are calling for one more time here, Chris.
The fans love both these guys.
Homicide's in a lot of trouble. His quest for the ROH World title is not looking good here.
That is metal. That is steel metal right there. And Joe just bent it in half with the force of that kick. Homicide. Look.
And remember, that's steel rails that's holding up that sheet metal as well. That's double the impact there.
And Homicide busted open on the side of the head from the impact of that kick, then going face first into that steel, that metal. Oh, how did he kick out of that?
And we saw in the opening match here, that steel is unforgiving at ringside as it busted open Danny Mott, and I think he's biting Homicide's head.
Samoa Joe biting the open wound of Homicide. And that's the lengths these guys will go to win that ROH World title. That's what it's all about. You're the top man going today if you have that belt. And Samoa Joe now trying to take Homicide over. Oh, beautiful German suplex. And Homicide, he's holding on to him. And now he's got him. Dragon suplex. Homicide rocking, Homicide reeling. And he's got him. Cross arm. No, Homicide tries to get out of it. But Joe avoids the kick, stops him on the back.
Chris, I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen a flurry of action quite like that. Homicide's in a lot of trouble. He's busted wide open. This is ROH wrestling at its best.
3 bone-crushing, skull-shattering suplexes there by Samoa Joe. What a slap exchange. This is pro wrestling as a sport. As right now, Homicide fighting with every ounce of energy he has. He's doing it for his son. He's doing it to give him a better life. Swinging DDT, spikes Joe on his head, and Joe rolls to the floor one more time. Great tactic by Samoa Joe.
That's right, wisely rolling into the ropes there so he can't get pinned.
Samoa Joe, whenever he's getting dumped on his head, he goes to the floor to grab himself a couple of moments. He knows Ref Gary Moore, he's going to give him a lot of time on the floor. He's not going to let this title match end in a DQ for being on the floor. So very smart wrestling by Samoa Joe. And what's Homicide looking for? And look at Julius Smokes. He's pulling out a table. That string element is pulling out a table right now.
And they're unleashing everything in this match. And that just shows how prestigious this title battle is becoming, is that these guys will put everything on the line for it.
Homicide, the crimson flowing from his skull. He goes into the ropes.
Chris, how much more can these guys take?
Both men not reload. Both men move the table.
And I've never seen quite a fan reaction here at an ROH ROH show quite like this. This is something special we're seeing here in Philadelphia.
Words can't do this live atmosphere justice as you see Samoa Joe on the floor. Homicide, he's reaching deep inside him to put Joe in. He's using every ounce of energy, all the intestinal fortitude that he has, trying to shake it off. He's bleeding, he's hurting, he's injured, he's rolling Joe over cover.
No, not enough. As Homicide's got to capitalize on Samoa Joe as he's down. This is his opportunity for the ROH title, excuse me.
Both men definitely down, definitely exhausted, but keep fighting with everything they have. As there you see Homicide missing the back fist. Joe catches Homicide, takes him up. Kick out, put into an FTF. And will Homicide give, but Joe saves his gum, but then he turns it over into a choke. He's got that choke on. It put Doug Williams down, it put Xavier down, it put two men down. One of two matches, including Oscar Fernandez and Cole Cabana as epic encounter. He's got the choke. No one gets out of the choke. Homicide's in a lot of trouble. Wait! Loki's coming to ringside.
What's Loki doing down here?
Stop fighting! Stop fighting!
He's yelling for Homicide. Homicide's his best friend, his trainer. And Homicide gets out of the choke after the origin of Loki and slaps the SDF on Joe. He slaps the SDF on Joe after the origin of Homicide and the origin of Loki.
Roll back on it!
Sound advice by Loki there as he gave Homicide that extra boost to energy, and Joe makes it to the ropes.
Relock him!
It was that SDF a version of it that got him the #1 contenders trophy, and he could be setting that up against Joe, and now he hits Joe with the clothesline. To the back, a clothesline to the front. He could be going for a third lariat. No, Joe catches him with a knee.
Oh, and another knee, and Homicide's down.
Did you see the impact of the midsection there?
And Loki can't believe what he's seeing here.
But check that out. Loki close to Samoa Joe.
Come on, Homicide!
And we know the issue between them.
Glory by Honor, one of the hardest hitting matches ever.
And wait.
You didn't beat me for that belt! Get your ass up!
Loki, the first ROH champion, telling Joe he didn't. Oh, that's a knockout knee right there. Homicide might be out. That could be a KO right there.
And he did it right in front of Loki.
Of course, this could be it for Homicide.
Get up! 5. Now, Gary, get up! 6. 7. Get yourself up! 8. Get up, Homicide! 9. Get up!
Homicide gets up at what was that, a 9 count. He makes the ropes, but I think he's knocked silly. One more blow like that, and he will be down for good. As right now, he's pretty much at the mercy of Joe. Look at Joe taunting Loki. Of course, that Glory by Honor match is legendary for how brutal it was. And Joe just, slaps the face of Homicide.
Okay, this is your time right now. Get the fuck up! Get up! Get the fuck up right now! Let's talk about this.
Loki firing up Homicide, his best friend, his trainer, Homicide. Suplex on a chair right on his head.
This could be Homicide's opportunity to win the title. And Homicide's fired up.
The crowd behind Homicide, they're sending title change. Julius Smoke, Loki in the corner. He's pressure.
Go for the cover, Homicide.
No, Homicide, he feels he needs one more big impact move before he can go for the cover. Snapmare's Joe over. Joe a lot. Brutal kick. Joe is down. Homicide going up to the top. This could be it. Oh, double boot to the gut.
He's got to go for the cover, Levy.
He turns Joe over.
Oh, so close, but not enough.
Homicide, he might be thinking of going for that version of the STF again, perhaps the cop killer. He knows he's got the champion Samoa Joe in trouble. Loki firing up his trainer, firing up one of his best friends, and now it's Homicide. That title within grasp. It's just 3 seconds away for Homicide.
Chris, I have never seen a title match quite like this. This is incredible.
Brutal kicks to the face of Samoa Joe by Homicide. Homicide now hooking Joe. What's he going to do?
Does he have enough energy to get the big man up?
I don't know. Joe's trying to fight. Joe is fighting. Can Homicide go? Joe still struggling. Homicide go. Oh! Dangerous right on the head!
My God! He just landed on top of his head. He might be out.
Joe once again going to the floor after the blow to the head. We've seen it before. We've seen him do it earlier in the match. But that was just so dangerous. All the body weight of Joe coming down right on his head.
I can't believe what I'm seeing here. I think
hold on.
Joe out?
The ref is signaling to the back for the other refs to come out.
Remember, it's referee discretion here on a count. There's no 10 count here.
I think more importantly than that, it's Joe is seriously injured. We saw Jody Fleisch in the match before this one injure his knee trying to move. These athletes in Ring of Honor put it all on the line, and injuries are inevitable when that happens, and you just hope they're not so serious. But right now, Samoa Joe is out on the floor. They're keeping Homicide back. We have a situation on our hands right here, and you saw B.J. Whitmer and CM Punk do that to each other at Epic Encounter. I mean, sometimes these athletes do go too far, and we might have just seen that. I mean, they do put themselves in such dangerous situations to try such dangerous moves and I think Joe is out. And we could have a new champion if the referee calls, if Gary Moore rings for the bell right now, because Joe is out, Homicide will be your champion.
Well, you said this match could be a TKO, and we might have it here.
Right now, Gary Moore, he's the man in the hot seat right now, but Homicide, they're letting Homicide close to Joe, so Gary Moore ruling that this match will continue. Gutsy call by Gary Moore, perhaps putting the life and career of Samoa Joe in jeopardy. I don't know if I agree with that. What is the ROH World title worth to you? Is it worth being in a wheelchair? Is it worth being in the hospital? Oh, Joe kicks out.
Samoa Joe with possibly his last ounce of energy there kicking out. I think Samoa Joe's on empty here.
Samoa Joe definitely has to be close to empty, but he did have time to rest on the floor. Very smart tactic going to the floor.
Vicious kick to the head on that already beaten head.
And there's another one by Homicide, but Joe seems to be getting a second win now. He did have all that time to rest on the floor. Great tactic by Samoa Joe, great strategy, and he's trying to make his way to his feet. Another big kick, another Mafia kick, and Joe staggers into the corner.
And look at his eye. His eye is swelling shut, Chris, his left eye. Wow.
Homicide busted open on the side of the head. Samoa Joe's left eye swelling shut, as Ray Morrow just said. And now Homicide sets and kill. He can taste the blood. He can taste the title. And
wait a second.
This is the wrong time for this.
This shouldn't be happening.
Low-key, Julius Smoke's arguing on the outside, and Homicide's distracted. Homicide, he's looking at the corner to see what's going on. His two cornermen are fighting, and Joe caught him in that choke. Joe just quickly got the choke, no, but Homicide gets out of it. Goes to the top, but Homicide was distracted there by Loki and Julius Smokes for that second. Now he's trying to headbutt.
And they're still arguing, Chris.
And this is definitely a distraction. Oh, no, Joe's got Homicide caught.
Oh, no!